Well, let's try this again. Hello, YouTube. This is my third attempt at making this video. The phone rang on the last one. We are probably... We're on the west side of Louisiana, right on the border, and that hurricane came ashore yesterday evening, and man, have the winds gotten up, even way out here. It's got to be blowing a good 20 or so miles an hour, maybe 30 miles an hour out there. And it's disconcerting because this camper has had a limb fall off this tree that's next to it and bust right through the kitchen cabinet. It came through the roof like a big lawn dart because it landed with the stub down. It came through the roof, through the kitchen cabinets, and didn't stop until it was resting in the bottom of the sink. It didn't damage the sink, but it punched everything else. I guess there was enough stuff when it hit that it actually stopped at the sink without denting it. But for a long time, we had a big ship mast sticking out the top of this camper. I'll have to actually show y'all what it did. We patched that, but the cabinet's still busted. I've got to rebuild the cabinet. But I was able to put most of the wood back together again, so it's just some paneling and some other things. But the winds are up like they were that night when that big storm came through, and just sitting here and hoping to God this place doesn't get popped again. And not a whole lot going on. We're going to call the well driller tonight or tomorrow and see if he'll come out to the property because of the failed well. We've been using the shallow well for running the toilet, and that's been a bucket flush job, you know, but the house isn't really all that livable without functioning plumbing. You can do it if you like living pioneer style, which doesn't bother me, but I don't know how Allison would deal with it. But things have been slow going, trying to get stuff together. You know, one of the things, never ever depend on anybody saying, well, if you move here or do this, I'll help you. Because most of them, when the time comes for their quote-unquote help, they have other things that they would rather be bothered with. So, never do things that you can't do yourself. Never get into a situation where you can't get out of it yourself or get moving yourself. We're moving along at a snail's pace because it's just basically me and Allison helps, and all those people that said they would help have kind of just vanished into the vapor. Don't know where they went. You know, but aside from that, it's a nice day. I won't go off into that. We're heading up there again today to finish sorting some of the stuff that we've moved into the house so that we can get started sheetrocking the living room, because we had to pull some of the paneling on the front walls to fix a bunch of stuff that was in the walls electrically. And we're still redoing a lot of the house. I mean a lot of the house. So inch by inch, little bit by little bit, it's getting there. It's just taking time. This hurricane thing, this is fairly interesting. I'll have to show y'all some video of this. This is actually pretty crazy what we've got. I don't know if you can hear it, but the wind is blowing out there. It's loud. You can hear it through the walls of this thing. So it's kind of eerily nice. I've always liked windy days. It seems like it should be colder. You know, usually when the wind is howling like this, it's when a front comes through. And, you know, the weather always gets cooler after the front. But this is like hot, dry. I can understand now people who say Arizona is very hot, but it's very dry, so it's actually comfortable. It's very strangely comfortable. The air is in the 90s outside. Maybe the upper 80s, but we had like 8, not 80, 8% humidity, and you don't mind the heat so much. You don't sweat. It's weird, and you don't feel hot. So, man, if it stayed like this all the time, Texas wouldn't be so bad. But it's very interesting weather. A person sitting inside a house right now is doing themselves a disservice. You should get out and look at this world and what happens when the weather goes strange. You might learn something. So, in fact, as soon as I get off of this, I'm probably going to go back out. I've been out most of the day. And most of yesterday when the thing was offshore. It was blowing yesterday, but it's blowing a lot more today. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm really watching that tree above this camper. There's not much I can do if it breaks. I mean, I just pull it off and fix the holes, but so far this camper, knock on wood, has been tough enough to withstand the impacts. It just doesn't like the punctures. But it does tell me something about campers. Campers are built a lot tougher than you think. They look light, but when you think about how they have to withstand being pulled down a road at 70 miles an hour, campers are designed with a lot of bracing in mind, with a lot of strength. So, don't discount campers as being a poor mode of housing. You're liable to come out of a bad situation on top where somebody in a trailer house or some other kind of building doesn't. So, it's built road tough, which means, actually, if you think about it, 70 mile an hour winds, it can go through a light hurricane if you tie it down, or whatever. Tie it down and block it up. This thing, we lived in it for about a year, maybe 2 years. And it went through Hurricane Ike unscratched, except for a vent that blew open, a little water got in. The wind apparently was blowing so hard that even though it opened the vent, the water was going horizontally in the air, so very little water actually got in here. There was a puddle in the middle of the floor. I cleaned that up, and there were some things that got wet that I had to dispose of, but the house was not waterlogged. So all kinds of weird things happen when you get these strange storms, It's definitely an educational experience. I wouldn't even evacuate if it was a Category 1 or anything. Just stick around, because you're going to need to be there to fix things when they break. Category 2 or higher, I wouldn't push my luck if I was in a weak structure. But evacuating for a Category 1 is completely stupid. Unless you got a bunch of dead trees on your property that's going to drop limbs all over your house, there's really no reason to go. It's made of brick or wood, and it's X-braced to the wazoo. The only thing that could really happen, you might get some broken windows and some shingles off your roof. But just hunker down. It's not a tornado. It's barely above a tropical storm. The news has everybody scared so bad. I remember what happened when, I forget which one it was. Was it Rita? Or was it that other one? There was one, they evacuated Houston. It didn't come anywhere near Houston. People were dying on the road in gridlock from thirst and hunger and heat exhaustion when they could have just sheltered in place and been fine. So take what the news tells you with a grain of salt. Know yourself, know what you can deal with, and understand your limitations. Even in a 70 mile an hour wind, if you stay indoors and have your windows boarded up, what's it going to do? Unless you're in a flood prone area and you're getting lots of rain, which hurricanes do dump a lot of rain. When you're inland, don't worry about that crap. The only one that was really strange that we dealt with was Ike. And I'll do a separate video story on Ike. That was an interesting experience, weathering Ike. We sheltered in place, and it was very interesting what happened during Ike. If I can ever get those pictures out of that damn cell phone. Cell phones with Bluetooth that don't have the ability to share pictures are a waste. Another topic. But anyway, that's my video for today. And I hope somebody out there is watching. I know that Maud is out there, and I know you're out there, Darren. Anybody else, if I do have other watchers, they're not commenting. So I would appreciate comments, and I do appreciate the ones I get. So leave your comments. Let me know what you think. If there's something you want to see in the videos or whatever. There will be a video coming out, just a little walkover of the land. We went down the electrical right-of-way down the center of the property just to give an idea of the expanse of the land, and that video will be up soon. So anyway, I will let all of y'all go, and hopefully my next video I'll have a shave. But y'all take care. Goodbye, YouTube.